Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about whether or not you should become a real estate agent or a loan officer. This is a question I get a lot. I get a lot of DMs from you guys, comments telling me, hey, should I become a loan officer or a real estate agent? What's the difference? So in this video, I'm going to be covering that, the differences between the loan officer career and the real estate agent career. And at the end of the video, I'll be sharing whether or not you could or should do both. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, number one difference or thing to consider is that as a real estate agent, you're mostly gonna be doing two things throughout your day. And that's, being out on the field, showing houses, looking at homes, listing appointments, things like that. You're gonna be mostly out in the field. You're gonna be driving, looking at real estate and so forth. And you're also gonna be doing a lot of prospecting. So those are the two main things that you'll be doing as a real estate agent. So if you like being out on the street, if you like being out in the sun, looking at real estate, looking at properties, then this is probably the one that you want to be in. As a loan officer, you're mostly going to be behind a computer. You're also going to be doing your prospecting, but not as much. And we'll talk about prospecting a bit later. But yeah, as a loan officer, you're mostly going to be behind a computer, taking applications, running scenarios, talking to the processors, the underwriters, and things like that. So that's the first main difference between a real estate agent and a loan officer. So if you're someone that's okay with working behind a computer most of the day, then being a loan officer is probably a great option. But if you're someone that wants to be out in the field, doesn't like being behind a computer, doesn't like being at a desk, likes being out on the street, being out driving, looking at properties, and the real estate agent is probably going to be better for you. And of course, you're going to want to look at all these things that we're going to go over in this video, but that's the first main difference. And of course, as a real estate agent, you're still going to be behind a computer, but as a loan officer, most of your time is going to be behind a computer. Okay, number two difference or thing to consider is that as a real estate agent, you're going to be working mostly directly with buyers and sellers. You might have some partners, but you're mostly going to be working with your sellers and your buyers. As a loan officer, you're also going to be working, directly with consumers like, buyers and people that are looking to refinance, but you're also going to have partnerships. For example, you're going to partner up with real estate agents. You're going to partner up with CPAs. You could partner up with attorneys. As a real estate agent, you could have partnerships, but it's mostly you working directly with the buyers, with the sellers. And as a loan officer, you can have partnerships and also, work direct. That's just one thing to consider, because if you're not very much like a people person, if you like working on your own, if you're not going to want to have partnerships, then a real estate agent would probably be better. And, if you're a great people person, if you can maintain a great relationship, if you want to, maintain partnerships with people, then loan officer would be great, because like I said, as a loan officer, you're going to need and want those partnerships, because like I said, you're mostly working behind a computer as a loan officer. You don't have very much time as a loan officer to be out there prospecting. Most of your time is going to be taking care of your clients. And, if you have a partnership that's able to supply those clients, then you're going to be able to get more deals done. That's why as a loan officer, partnerships are critical. There are some loan officers that don't have any partners. They just work direct, but it does help out when you have those partnerships. So that's one thing to consider. It's one difference between a loan officer and a real estate agent, is that as a loan officer, you're going to have those partnerships. As a real estate agent, not so much. Okay, number three difference or a thing to consider is that as a loan officer, you're going to have to work with quantity. As a loan officer, you're going to have to get a couple more deals, just to get the same amount of commission as a real estate agent. What does that mean? As a real estate agent, you could get a bit fewer deals and still make as much as a loan officer that's doing deals every month. Why is that? Because a loan officer's commission ranges between 0.8 to 1.5%, as opposed to a realtor where your commission can range anywhere between 2% all the way to 6% if you're getting both sides of the deal. So as a loan officer, if you're getting 1%, then you're going to need 6 deals just to get what a real estate agent gets when he gets both sides of a transaction and gets 6%. So that's one thing to consider. As a loan officer, yes, it does seem like they get a ton of deals, but you're getting a fewer or a lower commission. As a real estate agent, you can get 2-3 deals, and that'll be like 15 deals for a loan officer. It's another thing I want you guys to know is that yes, you can get by as a real estate agent just doing 1, 2, 3 deals a year. As a loan officer, not so much. You're gonna have to work quantity, and that's why I talked about in the last part that you're gonna need or want partnerships, because those partnerships are gonna supply you with leads. All you have to do, of course, is deliver great service to those leads, take care of them, and close those deals. So that's one thing to consider, is that you're gonna have less commission, but you're going to have that quantity as a loan officer. As a real estate agent, it's mostly going to be larger commission, but also fewer deals. Of course, you can have 5-10 deals a month as a real estate agent, but it's a bit more difficult. You might have, or you might need some assistance and stuff like that. Same thing as a loan officer. You can get 20-30 deals a month, but you're going to need assistance. So that's the third point to consider. Okay, number 4 difference or thing to consider is the knowledge. As a loan officer, you're going to need to have a lot of knowledge about credit, the economy, the market, interest rates, guidelines, lending, money, and things like that. You're also going to need some knowledge about real estate, but not so much. You're still in the real estate game, but you're not going to need that much knowledge about real estate. You're not going to be a professional about real estate, architecture, and things like that. As a real estate agent, you really are going to have to be an expert on real estate, an expert on, square footage, price per square foot, architecture, things like that, building code, appraisals. You're going to need to be able to look at a property and say, hey, it's worth this much. That's what you're going to need to know as a real estate agent. Go to a random city in a random state and be like, hey, that property is worth this much. As a loan officer, you're going to be like, hey, you make this much money, you have this many debts, you're going to qualify for that loan amount. So they're two different sides. So depending on what you like, let's say you're really into architecture, real estate, then it's going to be better to be a real estate agent. If you're really into, credit, financing, the market, lending, the economy, then it's probably going to be better to be a loan officer. So that's another difference thing to consider is the knowledge. On one side, you're talking real estate, you're talking property, land. Another part, you're talking about, money, finances, interest rates, economy. So that's the 4th thing to consider. Okay, number 5 difference or thing to consider is the competition. As a loan officer, you're going to be judged, or consumers are going to look at 2 things. They're going to look at your interest rate and they're going to look at your knowledge, your skill. Those are the 2 things they're mostly going to look at. Obviously, there's other things, but those are the 2 main things: your skill, your knowledge, and your interest rate. And the pros and cons to this is that they're not really going to push you on your commission like a real estate agent, and we'll talk about that in a bit. They're really going to be able to shop you with your interest rate. So you want to make sure that you know how to pitch interest rates, because you're not always going to have the lowest interest rate. There's always going to be there's always going to be a competitor with a lower interest rate. So as a loan officer, even though they're going to judge you on your interest rate a lot, you're going to need to know how to overcome those objections, and obviously there's ways to do that. So that's something to know about the loan officer. As a real estate agent, it's mostly objections about your personality, or at least that's what you're going to be judged upon, and also your commission. Those are the 2 things that I see a lot. I talk to a lot of my realtor partners, and they say a lot of their sellers, buyers do business with them because of their personality, because they have likable personalities. So if you're someone that maybe doesn't have a very likable personality, you're not very social, you're an introvert, then maybe you want to be a loan officer, because like I said, loan officer, you're mostly handling that objection of interest rates and knowledge. As a real estate agent, you really have to be a social person. You're going to be judged on that, and also your commission, of course. If you're on the seller side, if you're a listing agent, they're going to be like, hey, what's your commission? And like an interest rate, you need to know how to pitch that. Over here you're getting shopped commission, over here you're getting shopped interest rate. So those are some of the things that you need to keep in mind in terms of competition if you are a real estate agent or a loan officer. And really quick, one last thing is there's a ton of real estate agents. There's also a lot of loan officers, but there's way more real estate agents. So you're also going to have more competition in that area. There's going to be a lot of real estate agents. Loan officers, not so much. Okay, number 6 difference or thing to consider is the organization part, the systems part. As a loan officer, you need to be super organized, and you need to have systems in place, because you're dealing with a lot of deals, and they're complicated deals. So you need to be super organized and detail oriented as a loan officer. So if you're not super organized, you're not super detail oriented, it's going to be very difficult to at least have a lot of deals as a loan officer. You have 5 deals as a loan officer a month, which is the average that you want to have. It's going to be very difficult to stay on top of those 5 deals if you're not organized, if you don't have systems in place. Where as a real estate agent, you can have 1 deal that adds up to those 5 deals that a loan officer may have, and you don't have to be super organized. Obviously, you still want to be organized and have systems in place, but you're not going to need to if you're just operating with the minimum amount of deals. As a loan officer, like I said, the minimum amount of deals that you want is like 5 a month, and you're going to need systems in place. You're going to want to be super organized. Whereas a real estate agent, they can do that with 1 deal, and they don't have to be super organized. They don't have to have systems in place. They don't need a CRM system to get that deal. Obviously, you still want a CRM system. You still want systems as a real estate agent, but you're not really going to need it until, maybe you're doing 6-8 deals as a real estate agent. Then, of course, you're going to want to, or you're going to need to have those systems in place and be organized. Okay, now let's talk about whether or not you should do both, because that's the next question. The first question is always, hey, I'm not sure if I should be a loan officer or a real estate agent. And the following question is, hey, should I be both? So let's talk about that now. Okay, so the first thing to consider if you're thinking about doing both is whether or not you have the time to dedicate 40 hours a week to being a loan officer and 40 hours a week to being a real estate agent? Because these are both careers. So you need to ask yourself, hey, can I do full-time real estate agent and full-time loan officer every week or not? So consider that first. Hey, can I do both full-time? Can I deliver great service for both full-time? And the only way to do that is full-time, really. So that's why I'm saying, hey, can you deliver, because these are both careers. Can you do two careers at the same time? That's the question you want to ask yourself. Can you do two careers full time? And depending on where you are in your life, you may be able to do that. If I chose to do that, I probably could. I don't have kids. I'm not in a relationship. I don't have a wife. I dedicate all my time to business, to my success, to my dreams. So I might be able to do it. If you're not willing to dedicate, 80 hours a week to both of these businesses, then it's best you not do it, because it takes a lot of time to learn the loan officer career. It takes a lot of time to learn the real estate agent career, that, if you're not dedicating that full time, those 40 hours, and you're going to deliver subpar results to your clients. And I know you don't want to do that. I know you want to deliver great service to your clients. That's what we want. So that's why I think it's better to, do one. Doesn't mean you can't have both licenses. You can have both licenses, but do the one that you can dedicate all your time and energy to, whether that's a loan officer or a real estate agent, but do one. Be the best real estate agent and that's it. Or be the best loan officer and that's it. But it's going to be very difficult to be the best real estate agent and the best loan officer. It just doesn't work out like that, because like I said, they're both careers. They're their own careers, their own, large entities, large, responsibilities. So that's the first thing I want you to consider. The second thing to consider, which we kind of talked about it earlier, is, it's better to be the best real estate agent, the best loan officer, than a below average loan officer and a below average real estate agent. It's better just to be the best real estate agent. I promise you, it's going to benefit you more. If you're looking for money, and a lot of people, that are looking to be in both businesses, they're mostly looking for money. If you're looking for money, promise you, you're going to make more money being the best real estate agent or being the best loan officer than doing loan officer and real estate agent. I promise you. Look at the top real estate agent, Ryan Cernhat. Promise you, he's not thinking about doing loan. Look at the top loan officer. I don't even know who that is. They're not thinking about being a real estate agent. So if it's money that you're thinking about, if it's money that's, pushing you or encouraging you to do both, consider this. You're going to make more money as the greatest real estate agent or the greatest loan officer than below average loan officer and a real estate agent. So that's the second thing I want you guys to consider. I'm not trying to discourage you guys from doing both. I'm just saying, hey, our job is to deliver great service to the clients. And I know that, if you're doing both and you're not dedicating a lot of time, chances are you're not going to deliver great service to your clients. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you found some value in it, make sure you leave a big thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe for more content just like it. It really helps the channel when you do that. I make content on life improvement, business, and real estate. So make sure you subscribe for more content just like it. Thanks again so much for your time. See you in the next video and be great.